what we're often seeing in the UN is that managers are a little bit less open to letting their good people go on a secondment for a year. And I think related to that, I want to ask you a question about the iTime, which has also come up on our Slido channel. So I'm guessing that is the next step of this approach, I'm guessing, so to enable everyone in the organization to have a little bit of innovation as part of their job. Can you say a little bit more about how's it started? You mentioned you're still experimenting, but when did it start? How many people have participated? Particularly interested in how does the application process work? Do you need to come with a project? Can anyone do it? And how do you convince managers to, let staff go for 20% of their time to work on this?
Yeah, so this is sort of hot off the press. So literally, it was just put into our staff handbook a month ago. So we don't have any applicants as yet, but of course, informally, people have been doing this and before. But so this is, as you say, it's kind of an experiment from our as an institution, really, to see will this help support people, and will it help support the organization with some of its problems? Because we probably, like many others, that the IMF is quite siloed in its departments, and people get very focused on, rightly so, you could say in many cases, on whatever it is that they're working on. But of course, many times people do, either for their own development opportunities or just because they have good insights, you do think of sometimes of ways you could make somebody else's work better. And that's, I think, where this iTime could be critical. The other reason is that often one of the main barriers people said for innovation is that people would be innovating, but it wouldn't be reflected anywhere in their work or performance or objectives or review, because it was never really sort of formally approved or recognized in any way. So that it's also trying to address that. So in terms of the process, the idea or the way we're launching it is that we're trying to keep it very unbureaucratic. So in its heart, it's basically just a conversation between the staff member and the staff member's manager. And so the staff member has to go to the manager and say, I'd like to work on this particular project or idea. It's going to take me 3 months. I'd like to take, every Friday and Monday afternoons to work on this with this other group of people. And these will be the expected outcomes, or sort of what I will learn from it. And so that has to be documented and discussed with the manager. So the onus is really on the staff member to be well prepared and make a convincing case. The manager then has to look at this and think, well, first of all, is it a convincing enough argument? So we're not, it needs to be something that's providing value to the institution and to the person. And does it fit, with the sort of time requirements for the team right then? So the manager, of course, has to make that decision and sort of, well, if they have a super urgent deadline in a month, then maybe we're starting it right now is not the best time. Maybe it's better in a month's time or something like that. So that conversation should take place between the manager and the staff member. We are asking that these requests are also copied to our departmental sort of HR leads, and also to the iLab, so that first of all, so that we can track, where are these requests happening and what are people trying to do, and also we can look at, well, how many are approved or not approved. But we're not going to weigh in on should it happen or not happen. I mean, we're trying to leave that very much as a discussion between the staff member and the manager. I think the iLab can also help with coordination. So, for instance, if there's an individual in one department that's very interested in a new project, and we know that there is already a project going on somewhere else, we can make those links or that kind of thing. So that's the concept. We're going to be rolling it out. So maybe I can come back in a year's time and talk about what actually happened and what the uptake was. My gut feeling is that, in the first year we may get 10, 20, that kind of a number. Particularly from staff members that are just about to start some of these proof of concept projects. They're obvious targets to use this new policy. So we'll see. On the logistics side as well, it's an online form, so people just fill in the online form and it then goes to their manager for discussion and gets routed to the personnel manager and to the iLab.